Chris Cuomo here. Thank you for joining me on News Nation. News for all of us, left, right, and reasonable. Speaking of reasonable, can we all just agree we have to fix what is happening online with censorship? One side says democracy is on the ballot. The other side says we have to stop deep state interference. And yet neither is jumping on what Zuckerberg finally admitted today. The government was on him about controlling content related to COVID-19, and he went along with it. Now, there is a bigger conversation that we're also not having about whether outside regulation is needed over online content. We have it broadcast TV, other media. Google Section 320, and you'll see that we're in a different landscape here because of the pass given to online platforms. And they aren't exactly publishers, right? Because all the content is coming from outside in. And I'm very slow to have limits placed on what can be said. I believe you want an open marketplace of ideas and let the best ideas win. But that debate must be shelved for this instant circumstance. This is a separate issue. This isn't Meta or any of the other platforms deciding how to police content or not and by what standard. This is Meta being told by a government with a stilted agenda, in my opinion, to do things, and they did them. I'm not sure why many in the media are slow to condemn what happened here. There is no question it happened and still happens, and I can prove it. Now, I am not exactly unknown, right? And yet, the same accounts I have had for years without incident, suddenly post-COVID, started getting flagged, content restricted, or removed. TikTok shut me down for a hot second. I laugh because who does that to a member of the media? I've had 8 videos removed from TikTok alone for violating community guidelines. This was all stuff I put on TV. Once removed, nobody gets to see the videos except you if you're signed into the account. Now, TikTok has since restored all the videos. It was a mistake. It wasn't a mistake. They got caught. Now, what were the videos about? Well, I was naked. No, I'm kidding. 3 about the vaccine, 3 about COVID, 1 about Gaza, 1 about that horrible case of that kid who was put on the treadmill by his diabolical father. Brianne Dressen, remember her? The mom suing AstraZeneca for the vaccine trial. Caroline Stanczyk, remember her? The soldier that was injured by the vaccine and the military was messing around with her until advocates got involved. Dr. David Petrino saying that people get more sick after having COVID. I know that's true. I have long COVID. Podcast video about vaccines under Trump versus Biden. Flagged. What? Arwa Damon, live from Gaza, talking about the pain and suffering. Now, that one was probably about gore and talking about gore, which is, again, a different conversation, really. Me talking about the Corey Michelow case, which was the treadmill abuse. Remember that little beautiful kid? A tease from my Substack that we do on long COVID, which you should check out if you're into longevity or long COVID. But we're just talking COVID and how to get better from it. We're talking about the significance of mitochondria with Dr. Robin Rose when you have COVID and long COVID. Banned. Okay? Banned. Here's the proof. Banning a journalist from posting what I've already aired, mind you. After further review, your account will remain permanently banned due to a violation of our integrity and authenticity policy. Now, what are the guidelines that I violated? They don't tell you. But here are the different little bullet points. Safety and civility, mental and behavioral health, sensitive and mature themes, integrity and authenticity, regulated goods and commercial activities, privacy and security. They're all BS. They're all amorphous BS pockets that they could put anything in. Now, look, here's the truth, okay? They clearly have keyword identifiers in algorithms, okay, that are monitoring content. And they are obviously looking to flag COVID and vaccine and other things. Now, that is not wrong on its face. It depends what and why. We all know there's a lot of BS out there on these issues, flagrantly abusive of fact and circumstance. A research report in 2020 showed nearly 20% of videos presented by TikTok search engine contain misinformation on topics ranging from COVID-19 to January 6th, the insurrection, whatever you want to call it. I don't think it was an insurrection, but that doesn't matter. There are two real problems here for our democracy, okay? And they are everywhere online, including Twitter. Now, I single out Twitter because Musk, I believe, has been much more outspoken about censorship and how he wants his platform to be different. Now, I do take a little bit of an issue with some of the choices that he makes on his account and what to spread, because sometimes I find him to be misleading or incomplete at best. So I think there's a little bit of a mixed message. But again, I think he also stands apart. There is a place for a standard, okay? These platforms have the manpower and the capability to do much better, especially with AI advances. Artificial intelligence really can change this. And we know they can do better. How? Because of the advances they've made in their ability to place ads and increase traffic and revenue. They know how to manipulate content and get a read on what content means for their bottom line. Now, what Zuckerberg just said here must be looked at more closely. So we had a graphic made of the specific admissions. Put them up. The government did with respect to what should be flagged, okay? Russian disinformation, the Hunter laptop, Hunter Biden, and COVID-19 and the vaccine. Zuckerberg says they came at him, asking him to do things, got pissed off when they didn't flag certain types of content. Now, as part of his remedies, he says he's not going to donate big anymore. That's interesting. You know, I believe that money is what fuels the madness when it comes to the political parties. But why did he give in originally? Why didn't he call them out then when it was happening? And nothing ever happened before the Biden administration? I find that very hard to believe. A couple of reasons. Trump and his crew were very heavy-handed when it came to media and trying to influence coverage. And a lot of people in the agencies were there for both administrations, especially when it came to COVID. So on top of that, this idea of presidential administrations, government pushing up on media is not new. I remember during the war, post 9/11, the government coming at the media for what we were reporting, had to protect troop movements. President Bush, George W. Bush, saying the media was hurting troop security. Ratings tanked. So, you know, politicians try to influence what the media does. There's no question about that. But it can't be in quiet. That's the key here. That is what Zuckerberg is not revealing and should have said when he was before Congress. He needs to explain why he's doing it now, and why he didn't do it then. If you want to worry about democracy, worry about this. The Washington Post says democracy dies in darkness. True, with censorship online. Candidates should be pushed to discuss how to do better. Not just doing this, not just blaming the other one who does more dirty deeds online. That gets us nowhere but worse. And they both, remember, neither have said a word about this. Both. We need the people who want to lead us. So both need to call for a non-congressional, non-government review of the pandemic to see what was done right, what was done wrong, to learn for the next time, but also to shine a light on what is still happening. With the control of what you can get to see, long COVID and what they know or don't know, vaccine effects and what they know or don't know, it is time to know more and to know better. Instead of this just being fodder for the blame game, let's demand that what Zuckerberg just said gets taken seriously by everyone in an effort to get better. Hey, thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget, click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.